updates. Hello, hello. Good to see your faces. Happy to have you here. And like Sheila said, it feels like it's been a while since we've been here. It's March, and I'm positive a lot of you have had a little bit more signs of spring than what we have had. Unfortunately, our forecast and so far it's not looking like spring at all, but I'm sure it's going to come. It has every year. So it will this year again. I am so excited to start this month with what, or to share. It's not just starting, but with what's all happening. And I feel like today we should start with the incentives, the new loyalty program, and the birthday cards. There's so much on the table. And I know for myself, even just getting those details straight helps me move better. It helps me help people better. So, Sheila, can you start with the incentives?
Of course I can. First, I'm going to be very jealous of Colleen's 21 degrees today. Like, that's like rubbing it in, okay? We had the opposite of that with a,
Exactly opposite.
with a
Like my
minus in front of it. So that's not fair. It's not fair at all. But who's all like very excited? Like, we've been waiting for this and so much of this goodness. I'm just so thrilled at what this month is bringing. Let's just start off with March is known to be the biggest month in Plexus. It is our history. It's the month of Apple Watch. It's the month of iPads. It's the month of all of those things. And it's just known even you don't interrupt, Mom. You can lie here, but you don't interrupt, Mom, okay? Um, Let me get my train of thought back. I'm sitting in my bed because I'm sitting with somebody that wants me to sit with her. Yeah, so but she has to be quiet, right? Right. Okay. Um, and in network marketing as a whole, it's known to be a very impactful month. And I don't know the numbers behind it or the science behind it. My assumption would be it's because it's people are getting spring fever. It's because March is almost a better new year than what January is. And this is when people are starting to be like, I'm coming out of the winter blues, the sun is starting to shine. Let's start making some better changes before summer. It just is what it is. I feel like it's the right new year. And so it's always known to be a very big month. So plan for that and then put your work towards that, and it's going to pay you back exponentially well. So let's start off with some fun things, shall we? I'm going to start off with the incentives because they're really fun. First things first, we have it is Plexus's birthday. Plexus is turning 18. We have a full-blown, I just told Mom, I was like, we have a full-blown adult on the go here. Plexus is turning 18. How crazy is that? To think that I've been here for almost 12 of those 18 years just blows my mind. It's unreal. So you are getting, if you have made an order this month, you are getting a birthday card in your order. And here is how that birthday card works. In that birthday card, you receive a code. That code will either be a discount off of your next order of 100 PV or more, or a discount code for a free product, which it will be specified. And so, very, very cool. Share this with your teams. Tell them what's up. It is such a sweet extra incentive for Plexus to send out. And can you just imagine people opening their orders and being like, what? I get another, I don't know how much off or this free product? How cool is that? So, very generous of Plexus to do that. Love them for it. And then to the fun things, we have, like I said, March is known to be a big month, especially incentive-wise. And I think we're having my favorite one ever. I'm so excited about this one. So this month, when you help three friends start their journey of with Plexus with an order of over 100 PV or more, you receive the mini waiver vibration plate. That's just three friends. Tiara already has earned hers, which is crazy. She did that in the first 3 days of the month, blew us all away. So big cheers to Tiara there. Add another three friends for a total of six, and you get an Aura ring. Who here knows what an Aura ring is? Who here has wanted one like I have for like a couple years now, but I've never been willing to pay the money for it? That's me. I have talked about it to my husband so many times, and but I was never willing to spend the money on it. And now Plexus is going to give me one for free. Yes, if you don't know what an Aura Ring is, it is such a super cool health tracking device. It is a ring that you put on your finger. It has the lowest EMF on any health tracking device on the market, which is a big deal for a lot of people. And it, especially for us women, I'll just give you a little tidbit here. It is incredible at tracking your cycle. It checks your temperature for you every single day. So, like if you're into natural family planning or anything, this thing is the bee's knees, which is actually one of the reasons why I wanted it, is for the cycle tracking. It also tracks your sleep, it tracks your stress levels, all of those things. And it's incredibly accurate. So it's such a cool addition for Plexus to give us because it fits perfectly into what we are doing as a company into the health and wellness industry. So I love that they went that route. I think it's brilliant. Thank you, Ashley Howard, for your brilliance. Like, she has done such good things for Plexus. I'm so grateful for her brilliance. So that is our massive incentive for this month. Um, we still have the convention contest going on. Keep checking your credits in your back office. They will go up faster than you anticipate, especially if you are working towards an Aura ring or you're working towards an incentive, whatever it may be. We still have the Icon Club, and just so you know that with the Icon Club, if you earn it by March 31st, you get an extra 1,500 Canadian, 1,500 American. So that's about 1,900 Canadian if you earn it by the end of this month. If you earn it by the end of April, you get an extra 1,000 American, which is, I think it was like 13, 1,400 Canadian. That's huge. And it is so possible. So possible. Next day pay has been extended, and we're in the last month of the development bonus. Sorry, my Zoom is telling me that I should add effects using hand gestures. That's okay. My kids already tell me enough that I use my hands too much to talk. So see if I can keep them down. Lastly, one of the thing I'm very excited about is Plexus Loyalty Rewards. We have been waiting for this. The Plexus Perks program ended at the end of 2025, and we have been very patiently waiting to see what Plexus is going to bring out for our new and improved loyalty program to reward customers for staying consistent. And what they came out with way exceeded my expectations, and I am so thrilled about this. So let me explain it a little bit, shall we? Um, let's start off with a brand new VIP. Let's say you have a brand new VIP who's starting off. On their first month, they automatically get 10% off on their order, automatically. Second month, they get samples of free Plexus favorites in their order. So they're going to get their order right away. They're going to get their order anyways, and they get trial, like little things that they can try in their order, which I think is great because it opens the door for them to try new things. And then on month three, they get a full product for free. So awesome, like a full product. And then from there on out, yes, it's to be determined what those products are yet for Canada. We have extra hoops to jump through because of Health Canada and all of our rules and stuff, but they will figure it out and they will go above and beyond like they always do. And then from like after month three, every third month after that, they get another free product. So it is an incredibly generous program to help people stay consistent and to reward them for their consistency. And this leads me right into why it's so important for our customers to have a subscription. I see so many people sitting at 97 PV or 87 PV. And I'm like, you are missing out, my friends, for a few reasons. That's a good question, Tiara. She just asked if those products are predetermined. Um, I'm assuming they are. Yes. Yeah, Plexus will be picking them.
We have
There's
to
a
determine like 3 months in advance of what each month is going to be. So that's in the process. That's going to be decided this week.
Okay, yeah, because of the regulate. Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So yeah, that'll all be figured out, but very generous. So there's a few reasons why we want our customers to be on 100 PV. One, first and foremost, is for their own results. If they're using just the Slim or just the ProBio, they're not going to get the results that they deserve. And I always tell my people, I'm like, if you're going to be spending the money, I want you to get what you deserve. And I'm here to help you get what you deserve. I'm very clear about that. So let me guide you into the direction that you need to go so that you get the results you deserve. And for most people, a minimum of 3 products is that, especially when it comes down to the Slim, ProBio, and BioCleanse. Very important. So that's number one, success in their own journey. Number two, if they are building a team, they lose out on commissions. Like mom says, if they have a person under them or they sign somebody up, they are going to lose out on those commissions because they are not being paid. Or they're not commission qualified in order to. The only thing we have to do to be commission qualified is order our own products. That is it. Most companies, many companies, I've looked into many compensation plans make you jump through hoops, and we don't have to. You just have to order your own products. And then for now, they're going to lose out on these loyalty rewards, which is a big deal. I have been a Young Living customer for many, many years, and their loyalty program is quite similar. Um, and I will keep my subscription on because I want those freebies. Those freebies are a big deal. They are like, who doesn't want an extra freebie treat? And so, very similar process, program, and I love that they're doing it. I think it's brilliant, and I'm so grateful. If you have any questions, please put them into the comments. It will be on a manual order. So the question was, do we use the code for the birthday card on a subscription order or a manual order? This was addressed, it will be a manual order. And with that manual order, you can still bump your subscription up to the next month and you will still be in the loyalty program. If you bump your subscription up, you are still in the loyalty program. So just to make that clear. So you can tell your teams, your customers that as well. And that is it and that is it. That was a lot, but that is all of the amazing changes and incentives for March.
And it's quite the list. And so I find myself reverting back to it to make sure that I know what I all need to keep in mind for my people, right? Okay, so unless you have been like hiding under a rock or in a cave or something, you should already know that the GLP-1 conversation is pretty big in Plexus right now. And so I want to take you guys through a couple of those pieces tonight and bring some clarity on several pieces because I feel like there's questions that might not have been answered yet. And I wanted them answered and I jumped in and went and looked for answers. So I want to share them. So it's super exciting. We haven't seen momentum like this in a while. And I feel like it was bubbling underneath the surface and it's really just only starting. I'm in a diamond chat with, I don't even know, like over 100 other diamonds. And if you could just see the energy of what's happening and then go look at the Slim and Trim group and see that there's 10,000 people in there. Whereas originally when we made the group last month, before we knew that this would all be exploding, we were expecting 2,500. Guys, that's at 10,000. That's only of what, a smidge of what it could be, but we're already blowing ourselves out of the water, right? There's several reasons why, and that's what I want to cover today, because there's really endless conversations that you can have with this. And there's also some objections that I know that are going to come up in our minds that I want to cover because I feel like they come alongside really, really well. And so opening the door for people that are already asking questions about metabolism, cravings, hormones, energy. Did you know 86% of women, this is only women, are looking to lose 5 to 20 pounds? Like that is pretty much all the people that we talk to, right? Like that's almost our whole market. And so there's such a huge conversation going on in the world right now around metabolic health and GLP-1. You know what I mean. I'm not going to talk about anything synthetic. I'm going to talk about what we have, but you know what I mean. You can't scroll on Instagram without seeing ads. You can't watch a sports game. We were sitting in where, I don't know, somewhere where we were, and there was hockey on, and then they had multiple ads on weight loss shots. And I'm like, it's so crazy to me to think that people wouldn't, want to hear from us that have a natural option to that, right? And so I feel like we've been primed for this. The more we're going to talk, the more it's going to create momentum. There's so many things that are being said right now around the things of I feel hungry all the time. I can't stop thinking about food. I used to lose weight easily. Now nothing's working. I crash every afternoon, right? Like these are such common conversations that we're having. And a lot of these people are just looking for a solution. They don't even know that one or the other would be better, right? But there's one piece that I feel like we are very much aligned to, and that is we are the original gut health company. Like we've got that flag flying higher than anybody else. And aligning women, men, everybody with preparing them for good gut health and supporting their liver, bringing this conversation alongside is so terribly simple. It is so terribly simple. So what I'm seeing a lot is when you're having these conversations of food noise, cravings, and maybe we're just pulling back just a little bit and saying, oh, I don't know if I want to start people on weight loss. Previously, we would have, I'm stumbling on my words today. Previously, we would have probably said, no, let's start them on gut health. But look what we're doing now. We're bringing alongside Restore, Slim, Balance or Block, and the conversation for gut health aligns with that, right? It's so easy to bring it alongside. I'm finding that some women are not even asking for a price. They're just like, that sounds amazing. I need to get in. They want your support. They want your confidence in what we have. And I want you guys to pick up your chin and say, look, we've been here all along. Plexus is 18 now, right? Like, I'm going to talk a little bit about our combos that we have. I just did a call today for Canada that they're going to be sharing very soon. Just a little bit touching on that because there's some mechanisms that we know work better together. And so when women are talking, I'm talking women because I talk to women primarily. Hear me, it's for everyone, okay? So when people are talking about, I feel hungry all the time, I'm always thinking about food. I can't lose 10 pounds anymore. Like all these things, right? These are metabolic signaling issues, right? Our bodies naturally produce GLP-1. So that's not a synthetically made chemical that just happened to come upon the market in the last while, right? Our bodies have always had the capacity to do that. They haven't always been supported to be able to do that. We bring that to the table. So that's your big leverage piece is we're bringing this to the table to allow your body to actually create and make its own without a synthetic chemical. And so we naturally produce GLP-1, which helps regulate your appetite signals, your blood sugar balance, your fullness, satiation cues, and your metabolic function. Metabolic health, I remember when I started talking about Plexus 12 years ago, when I talked about blood sugar balance, they looked to see if I had an extra eye somewhere on my head. People were like, why is that important? It's everywhere now. Insulin resistance being tied to blood sugar balance, such a big conversation, right? And our solution is so simple. Our Slim is so very effective. Okay, so our combos right now, and both of them, US and Canada. I'm not going to pick one or the other or one over the other. I feel like they all have their place, and I'm basically giving people a choice of where to start. But I'm also saying, you know that I'm going to be talking about your gut in month 2 if you start with the weight loss combo. So we'll cover that when we get there, right? Because I'm keeping that door open. But we're going to be talking about slim hunger control, right? Feeling of fullness, your healthy blood sugar metabolism, because that's a big piece of it, your weight management, that's coming in alongside of, okay, now we're talking, let's bring and restore. Now we're talking cellular health, right? You're helping your liver really push out good cells. It's the antioxidants that we need. It's the healthy liver function that is going to complement the other products. That is so brilliant, right? It's so brilliant. And then either you're using block or balance, whichever one. I don't think results wise, when people follow a regimen like our group has right now, I don't think block or balance there wouldn't be one or the other that would be actually, I favor this one or I favor that one. I feel like it comes with the lifestyle, the habits changing, drinking enough, taking your products consistently. Those two work very similarly. It's geared towards making sure that your body isn't absorbing all the carbs that you're eating, right? And so, again, healthy blood sugar balance and the carbohydrate metabolism. That's where a lot of women need help with, and then the metabolic balance. And so instead of forcing the body, these products help support the systems that regulate your appetite and your metabolism. Speaking of appetite, we are really talking about protein front loading, right? Protein being that your body has that to feed on instead of creating a whole bunch of blood sugar in order to cover the carbs that you're eating. So we have a couple of friends here that are going to be talking about tips and ideas of how to bring in extra protein ideas. I always need help on this. This is somewhere where I stand in the kitchen. I'm like, what do I have for protein? What can I eat for protein first? Right? And so Lena and Ramona, I'm looking for Ramona. Where's Ramona? Ramona's right there.
Here.
Are you ready to share, Ramona? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Lena, I don't know exactly what you'll be talking about, so we might be overlapping.
That's
There's
totally.
yeah. So okay, so there's lots of things with protein. So first of all, protein is essential for preserving lean muscle mass, as we know, supporting a healthy metabolism and keeping you fuller for longer, as Marge was just talking about. Without enough of it, you risk losing not just fat, but muscle too, especially with us aging, women especially, which can slow your progress and impact your long term results. Prioritizing protein at each meal ensures your body stays strong, nourished, and resilient as the weight comes off. So I'm just going to share a few little things to consider. So including protein every meal, with this challenge, they said to I believe eat 3 meals. They said not to do a snack, I think, with the challenge, but sometimes when I've worked with people, it was 3 meals and a snack, but every time you have to include protein with that. So making a conscious effort to include a source of protein in every meal. When planning your meals, ask yourself, what is my protein at this meal? So ask about the protein first. In the past, I used to do thinking of a carb or whatever, and then I would add my meat source last. But now I'm trying to always do what is my meat source, or shouldn't say meat, protein source, because it's not always meat. And then I'll talk about some examples later too. Prepping your protein rich breakfast in advance. So, again, setting yourself up the night before or even on a weekend for the week before. Protein at breakfast can be a challenge for some, especially when they're busy and on the go, working and kids, all the things. So, prepping protein rich breakfast the night before, like overnight oats, and preparing smoothie bags or egg, tofu scramble wraps to reheat are some easy ways. Even doing like a big bulk of a smoothie, and you can actually freeze it. And then just you could change the flavor, change a berry or whatever, some protein powder, and just take it out the night before, give it a shake or a little blend and take it on the go. Even that you can do in bulk ahead of time. What else? Planning protein packed snacks. So again, I won't go into that one because we're not doing snacks, I think, for this challenge, but there's lots of ways to do healthy protein-based snacks, but we can do that another day. Batch cooking your protein sources, as I said, that can save a lot of time. So whether it's your chicken, even beans, quinoa, things like that, doing in batches ahead for the week. I like to do things on the weekend and then I just put them in lots of containers in the fridge. And if you don't want other people touching them, just make sure you label it, because if you have other people in the house, sometimes I've gone and I'm like, oh, I planned my week, but now it's gone or it's kind of half eaten. So label it if you have to. The protein shakes and drinks, as I said, are always a good one, and you can do those ahead as well. And then just using nutrition tracker. Not everybody likes to use those, but keeping a food log can be a great way to ensure that you're hitting your protein goals. It can help determine if you're getting enough protein at each meal throughout the day, especially as you're starting out. And if this is all new, sometimes we're not sure how much we're getting. I always kind of say, when you're starting with a new habit, just try to add it in. Don't get too concerned about the exact proportions if it's too much to start with. If you're working with people doing this and they're kind of having a hard time with protein, just, really start with wherever they're at. So if they're like, I don't even eat protein all day or whatever, just don't get overwhelmed by that. Just start with where they're at. Giving them examples and choices and see what their day is like, how they can fit it in or prep ahead and all those things. I do have a couple sheets I can share, probably scan or something, or give to Marge if you guys want these after. One is on animal based and the other one's on plant based. So I won't read through it all, but obviously the meat and the fish and the eggs plus the egg white, ground turkey, shrimp, the different whey proteins, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. It kind of gives you it gives you the amount, like this size in ounces. It'll give you the calories and then the amount of proteins you would get. Again, it's kind of an estimate. Obviously, if you're doing Greek yogurt, which I think Shelley was showing us the other day, you have to read the label, because one Greek yogurt is going to be really high protein versus another one that's a lot lower. So I can share these if it helps with you. Maybe Marge can put it in the Facebook group after. The plant-based ones aren't always as common. Tofu, tempeh, obviously vegan protein. Edamame, I ate that all the time in Japan, and it's very common now. You can get it frozen. You don't even have to shell them. Cannellini beans, pinto beans, black beans, chickpeas, split peas. Quinoa actually is a better source than of getting some extra protein in when you're having some carbs too. So that it's a little bit higher protein than, say, eating the rice or the pastas, unless those are protein-based ones too. There's so many things now, you have to read labels. Lentils cooked, spinach even has a little bit of protein as well. Sunflower seeds, nutritional yeast, chia seeds, rolled oats even has, half a cup has 5.5 grams, I think, of protein. So there's these kinds of sources. Bone broth is not on here actually, but bone broth, especially with our gut health, that is kind of a no-brainer for me. Making your own bone broth is really, really easy. Just get some bones and it's not hard. So that's always good to have on hand. I do huge batches and I freeze them. So whether you just drink it like that, I don't. Lots of people do, and that's good to do. But I use it to make soups, stews, chilies, whatever I'm cooking. Then I just reuse that bone broth. What else? When you're thinking of how do I get this into my meal, I would use the meat, fish, seafood, beans, tofu, any of those, any protein source really. You could put on a salad. Even the Greek yogurt, you can make your own salad dressing, right? There's like any of the protein sources, probably other than a protein powder, I wouldn't maybe, but you can basically put on salads. All of them too, most of them I would put in soups, stews, chilies, all those kinds of warm foods. Easy to put any of them in there. I guess I'm kind of an experimenter when I cook, so I kind of figure out, do I want a curry flavor, Italian flavor, whatever, and I just change, like it when I do chicken or beans and vegetables for the week, then I might be eating the same chicken, Brussels sprouts, whatever every day, but I'm like, I get bored easy, so I have to change the flavor. So I will sprinkle in different flavors with that food, whether I have it hot or just as a cold meal. That's how I just kind of get through my week without getting too bored. And I kind of eat the same for a few days at a time. That's just easiest for me to save time, and I eat way more healthy that way. Um, Always plain Greek yogurt and cottage cheese are easy ones too, I find, to add to things like the smoothies, on salads, whipping things up for, I do it as a healthy snack. Um, and then what else? Yeah. As far as the protein, how to measure, if you don't want to do the macros, you just basically cut off your fingers and thumb, and that whole palm is like a serving size, right? So not fist, but just that part of your hand, just cut your fingers and thumb off, and that's your serving size, one serving size. So it's not exact because we all have a different size hand, but they say it's roughly 3 to 4 ounces of protein. But again, that can really vary just depending on the person. Um, there is something, if anyone is already working with, if you have people you're working with that are already taking those meds and they're having a hard time with protein, or even if it's just anyone, I guess, having a hard time getting the protein in, there's something called My Protein Ladder that has been really helpful for people on the GLP-1 meds. And I won't bore y'all with it, but if you want this, I could share it too. It just goes through different tiers of, like tier 1, it says easy wins. So even on the nausea or no appetite days, there are protein sources that are recommended. So for example, the ready to drink protein shake, or Greek yogurt, plain or flavored, cottage cheese, protein smoothies, egg whites, scrambled or mixed with oatmeal, bone broth with added collagen. Our collagen would be great. Our lean protein, all our vegan protein, all of those are good. And yeah, it's just a protein powder mixed in oatmeal or yogurt would be like tier 1. Then they have a tier 2 when your appetite's a little bit better, and it talks about the boiled eggs, tuna, there's turkey, chicken, shrimp, plant-based protein drinks or bars, lentils, edamame. And tier 3 is challenge foods working toward tolerating. So they're high quality proteins that may feel too heavy or hard to eat right now, but they might work towards later. So that's your meats, chicken, more tofu, tempeh, high protein meals like chili or casseroles. So it kind of goes in those tiers. Yeah, so there's that too. I don't know if that's helpful to anyone or working with them on meds. It's kind of a way to ease them in. And then last of all, like there's lots I could share, but there's always like, if you need recipes on the smoothies or how to build your, like a cheat sheet, how to build your meals around getting those macronutrients in, protein one, and then getting a fiber food in, and then your healthy fats. I have some examples of those as well, if anybody is interested. I won't need to read all that out to you, but there's those ways as well that I can share. Yeah, so I think that's plenty for now.
That was very Very helpful. And I always love when other people share their ideas because I feel like if you're a little bit bored with the food that you have in your house and then all of a sudden you hear other people's ideas, it makes it so much easier, right? Like it just brings in new ideas. Okay, Ramona, I should have said that you were qualified in what you were sharing there and that there's like a lot of expertise behind her advice. So thank you for that. Very much appreciated. Lena, I would love to hear from Lena as well. She has an amazing weight loss story. She's been doing this for quite some time. She's a young mama of 4. Lena, tell us some of your secrets.
Well, I think Ramona shared a lot already. A lot of the things I've written down, I'm like, wait, she's taking all my stuff, but just making it better. Which I
Good, share it all.
yeah. So I guess one way that actually helped me because to get in extra protein in the morning is actually instead of eating my leftovers for lunch, like I would eat it for breakfast. And then usually suppers are very high in protein because you have meat and some other sides, but like eating supper leftovers for breakfast, it really helped me to stay full like longer. And then that meant I had to cook again for lunch, but probably had to do it anyway. So that's a really easy way to do it. And I guess like Ramona said, like meal prepping is really helpful for that and just setting yourself up for success because just knowing that the days can be unpredictable, especially when you're busy, which we all are. Doesn't matter what season of life we're in, like we're all busy. And just making sure that we have the food in our fridges ready to go. Like sometimes like if all that you can grab is like some beef steaks and cheese before you head out to war or a lean protein shake, like grabbing that is just as easy as grabbing a muffin or something like that. And I think we have to switch that mindset that we have to just grab these easy things. Like when those things are like even high protein is actually just as easy as grabbing the stuff that's not so good for us. But yeah, and also like I guess protein is everywhere now. Like you go to Costco, there's like 2 aisles full of protein everything, and it's like I like the idea, but sometimes it's like, what are all the other ingredients? Like if we can get our protein from the most natural source, that is always the best because it's just going to, it having something that has like 50 grams of protein and then like tons of chemicals and stuff, that's not good, even if you're getting your protein in for the day. But I guess sometimes I'm not just saying protein bars because I do love them, but there are ways to make them yourself using like oats and peanut butter and a lot of different like cottage cheese even, and there's so many different things you can do to make your own protein bars if you have the time. But I feel like putting like chicken broth in your rice instead of water. I guess we already talked about those kind of things. And there's like so many different areas where we make it so complicated, but it's actually quite simple. That's all I had to share.
Thank you so much. And it's true. Your preparation is, the same thing we say about our business. Plan to fail to plan or plan to fail. Fail to plan to fail. Along that line. I'm not sure what it is, but it's that preparation piece that sets you up for success, right? I love that. I need that so much. And then there's that little piece that everybody's wondering about. Why an apple, right? We're learning these things about apples and about leptin. And it's so interesting to understand and learn how our body is absorbing toxins and using certain foods to actually sweep that out. And like Lena said, often it's a simple, natural food that will help you do that. So apple a day there. All right, I'm going to take you a little bit past what and how are we sharing this? How can you help walk alongside of other people that are coming in? And like Ramona said, sometimes you just start them right where they're at, right? We're not here to overwhelm them. The key thing about Plexus is it's simple. It's so simple. I want to remind you again that Slim alone has like over 5 different supplements in it. I'm not even going to comment on how many there is in Restore. That would be like a cupboard full for the average person, and they have that in 1 drink and 2 products, right? And so starting these conversations does not need to be hard. And I feel like the more simple we keep it, the easier it becomes, because conversations that happen naturally create curiosity, right? And so you talking about, I've been learning a lot about metabolic health lately, opens up the door to say, oh, I'm hearing metabolic health everywhere. What is she saying on this, right? It causes people to lean in. I'm trying something that supports appetite signaling, or you could call it food noise. A lot of people are paying attention to food noise and blood sugar balance, because this is making a difference on my metabolism. There you go, right? Hook, line, and sinker. I'm seeing a lot of interesting changes in my cravings and energy. Everybody needs help in these areas. Everybody. It's so good that we are right there for it. So just let the people ask questions. Like, if you put it out there, the curiosity of itself will lean in, and these conversations happen supernaturally. Okay, so you don't have to explain everything. I love the fact that in Plexus, we always say that we learn as we grow. Things are going to come at you that you're learning. I don't have the answers for this. That's okay. Somebody will. And it's totally fine to say, hey, you know what? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm going to go find it and I'll get back to you. And do you know what happens when you go find that answer? You learn. You learn it. You in the process, you're teaching yourself on what the answer is to their question, right? Okay, so another topic is, I'm learning how metabolism and food noise work together, because it's telling them something about their body, right? Again, I'm not sure, I didn't realize how much blood sugar was affecting my cravings. You know, that afternoon bag of chips, or that craving for the chocolate bar. Years ago, when I was working, in my desk would be all these little Halloween candies in my drawer. I no longer have that issue. I haven't had Halloween bars in my drawer for years, right? So those are things that you can like bring up, of where when my kids were little, I used to eat chocolate chips by the handful in my pantry. You wouldn't do that now because they're almost made of gold, but hey, that's what I did back then. You are entering the conversation and allowing them to have the freedom to actually ask the questions. And then you want to move toward a sale, right? When the conversation opens, when you've messaged them, when they show interest, your next step is really, really simple. Hey, do you want to try this with me? Like, we have this massive group going. It's really blown up. Super easy to show them what is happening. And it's all third-party validation, right? All these things that are happening, you're tying your feet into the momentum, and it's all third-party validation. If you're curious, I can show you the combo people are starting with. Very easy. So last night, my post pretty much blew up about the 1-minute video of the naturopath sharing about the GLP-1 combo. It's just Jess saying in a few sentences what our natural GLP-1 in our body does. It's so easy, but people need to hear that. They want to hear that, right? You're offering them a chance to experience it. So in closing, I feel like the alignment of what we have now is going to bring people in a lot. And I'm so excited for that, because the conversations on these combos are focusing issues that are out there. Like I've said all evening, people's ears are raised to these keywords: GLP-1, all the food noise, all the feeling satiated longer. There's another piece that we really, really want to bring in. I had 2 or 3 different cost objections today, and I thought, okay, we need to come back to this conversation and be able to instantly transition into them also sharing. And it went really well for one of my gals. I said to her, I wouldn't want you to miss out on this, because the group started today. You can order your products. They're going to be here in just a few days. What if we would get you ordered? I'm going to help you find a couple of friends. Tell me off the top of your head who you think needs help with food noise, feeling more satiated, or just metabolic health in general. And she said, that's funny. All my friends. Yes, exactly. That's the example of what I mean. People know what this is, right? And so, oh, I lost my spot in my notes. Gosh. Let me quickly go back. Okay. People know what we're talking about, right? And they can feel how excited you are and they can feel your energy. One thing I don't want to have you struggle with is, but I don't want to talk just about weight loss. Let me remind you that you're not. Weight loss might be a side effect that they're experiencing. And from what we can see from so many people on this combo, and what is happening is it seems to be triggering their body to let go of extra weight. What you are doing is still bringing them gut health, still bringing them metabolic balance. You're bringing extra pieces to the table, right? And so if that's ever been an objection to you, know that that is not the only path that you can take with this new GLP-1 craze that's happening, right? Okay, so another piece of this is if you're looking at the vibration plate, that's awesome. If you're looking at the Oura ring, that's even more awesome. You're also looking at 6 lives that could potentially be changed, right? 6 different lives that could have their health transformed. These are amazing gifts. I love how Plexus always comes alongside, puts something extra on the table for us. And it's very generous of them, truly, but it's not the only opportunity here. Okay. So hear my heart. What could this build for you? That's the question that we're putting on the table here. Imagine for a second, and I'm always thinking of Fallon Black when I share several of these stories, because this is where I learned it, and then I turn around and try to share it with others as well. Okay, so imagine for a second that 1 year from today, you hit diamond. So March 2027, you hit the top rank of the company, okay? Think about what this means. Where would your life be? What would your family look like? Would you have the same financial struggles as what you do today? Would you be stressing out about the same things that you're stressing out about today? Would you be wondering how your bills are going to get paid, or not wanting to buy the next thing because not knowing if your family could afford it or not, right? So here's the funny part. You can make that happen. And at that point, you could afford any vibration plate and any Oura ring that you wanted. So don't let the smaller things be your vision. Lift your eyes and see the bigger picture. Decide on where you're going and know that you are worth it and know that you can do it. That's a really big piece of picturing yourself there. So the reason I mentioned Fallon is a multiple star diamond. And she, 1 year when we had the iPad challenge in March, also massive March momentum. And she said, you know, it really amazes me, because if we would always work our business like we do in March, we could buy all the iPads in the world. And it's so funny how it triggers our brains, right? And so I want you to think on how much bigger this can be. So say you earn the Oura ring. What if 2 of those women want to build a business with you, and those are your next jewels? Have you entertained that conversation? Right? It brings me to the thought of, if there is 20 blocks of gold buried in your backyard alongside of 100 blocks of rock, would you keep searching for the gold, and would you want to get all of them? Right? We have to be very conscious of who we're bringing in and not let that person decide what their vision is going to be. You are the vision caster. You can give them so much more. So picture the life, picture the freedom, picture the confidence, and then take the momentum that is happening right now with these conversations that are simple to have, very simple to have, and run with it. Run with it, because in a year from now, everything could be completely different. Believe that for yourself. I love that for you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited for all of you. Let's keep running. Take care. Have a great day.